Hello, good friends. This is another episode in fighting cancer. My name is Peter Croyle, and I've been diagnosed after getting cancer in my eye 1 year and 5 days ago. The first operation to radiate the tumor, the second operation on the 9th of December. Since then, I've had no vision, useful vision out of this eye, and I still don't. But it has metastasized in my liver because I was in the highest risk group for that to happen. So I got a biopsy in Florida in September, relocated up here when that came back as positive for malignant melanoma, uveal liver tumors, 2 of them, and it's since been noticed in another CAT scan and a PET scan to have spread in my liver. I was, for the first time on October 25th, given an infusion Yervoy, which is a chemo that works pretty well in the lungs for certain types of cancer. But again, all the work that is being done in my liver and all the drugs being used and procedures that are actually used are primarily used for other cancers and other organs. Because this is so rare, they're sort of just borrowing from other studies that have helped cancer, and there is no cure. It's stage 4 and increasing in size, and there's no cure. So yeah, it's terminal. How long it will be, that's yet to be decided. So the first infusion of Opdivo, an immunotherapy, a monoclonal antibody drug, and Yervoy, a chemo, took place on the 25th of October. I had some severe side effects that were predicted. I have very bad osteoarthritis in my hip and my knee that I'd planned to get addressed just prior to the cancer coming earlier this summer. And that's when I'm dealing with first my eye and now my liver. So that's bothersome. It's still there. The immunotherapy drug supercharges your immune system, and it will attack any place there's inflammation. So it made swelling and pain in my knee and my hip excruciating, and was treated with steroids. First a dose of 60 milligrams of prednisone, and then 40 and 20, a maintenance dose of 10. And 21 days after that first infusion on the 25th of October, I got on the 15th of November my second infusion and went in for the blood panel. Everything was fine. The steroids had reduced a lot of the pain in my knee and my hip. Not all of it. It's always going to be there. But the second infusion, and it went fairly well. I began to, though, after that, have other side effects. So, especially when the weather changed, my knee and my hip got bad again, and I'm still on this maintenance dose of steroids. And then I began to have symptoms that were outside anything that was described. And they were short-lived, and I'd go from chills to sweats to chills to sweats over a 3-4 hour period. And I've been told to monitor my body temperature if it gets over 100.4 in Fahrenheit. That's not much higher than your average body temperature, but in my case, that's something that they wanted me to call them about. It only got up into the low 100s. 102 was the highest I recorded. It may have gone over and come back because I was taking it maybe every 20, 30 minutes. But it would vacillate, it would go down low, and I'd have these terrible splitting headaches with tingling across the top of my scalp on the skin. I couldn't even touch my hair and it would cause me pain. Hair on fire. is a good way to describe it. It was, and the sweats and chills and and I had trouble going to the bathroom. I'd have to go, I'd run to the bathroom, 5 seconds of stream, and that's it. And then I'd have to do it over and over and over again. Really bizarre. It was in the middle of the night. It went over in the morning. I got over it in the morning. It just felt weak the next couple of days. Didn't really think much about it. Then my next was with something that was also on the list of side effects, and that's diarrhea or constipation. So it messes with your gastric system as well. So that's fine. And they said, and I'd never used it before, Imodium, because it never treats, if it's a bacterial issue or a viral issue, it doesn't treat that. It just locks it up. And I wanted to get out of my system. But this, I was told I don't do that. I have to use Imodium. Well, it works. It shut me down for about 4 days. But again, I wasn't able to exercise. I'd been exercising through the first and into the early stages after the second infusion on my regular routine. I've been swimming 40 minutes a lap 3 days a week at the Y. I do light yoga, core work, and light resistance. Alternating days, and then the days I do core work, I go swim. I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to do my exercises for about half the days in that period, 21 days between the 15th of November and the 6th of December, which just passed. By the way, today is the 10th of December. And that's okay. But then I had 2 more of these mini hot flash, cold flash, sweat, chill, shakes, and almost delirium. And this time it was just the headache. And I was at my friend's house, and he was really concerned about me. He said, is there anything I can do? Did you just hear me moaning? And I was in my head in some sort of delirium where I thought that I had to control my breathing in order to calm this down. I didn't. But that's the other thing, is that when I'm shaking, I'm also getting quite high levels of anxiety and sort of almost delusions. Well, that happened at night, and then I felt better. And then a couple days later, it happened again, and then I felt better. And then I went to my infusion on the 6th. I actually had diarrhea that morning. I had to take Imodium for the second time, but I went to the doctor. They put the port in my hand, and they do a blood draw. That's the first thing they do, and then they run a blood panel. And then I actually have to wait. And then I see the nurse practitioner who does my vitals, goes through my blood panel, and then signs off on the infusion. Except this time she didn't, because she found something very concerning. So a couple of good things. My hemoglobin was up. It had been just slightly outside the boundary of low to normal. Sodium, which is something I've never had an issue with low sodium before. And I don't use a lot of salt, but now I'm salting things. Sodium was out of whack, and it was too low. That was strange. And then she got to, and she's, oh no, oh my, oh. This was after I'd explained to her these symptoms that I'd been having, and she's like, tingling. Oh, the last time when I got it, it wasn't a headache, but it was tingling from the middle of my thigh to the middle of my calf on the back of both legs. She'd never heard of these symptoms before, and was like, well, that's probably not from the infusion. And then she saw the reason for it when she looked in the blood panels, and I had extremely highly elevated levels of liver enzymes. This is the first time that there's been any indication of illness in my liver. There was never any swelling. I was just told to check because there's not a lot of nerve endings there. I didn't feel when those tumors were growing at all. I felt no pain. I felt no side effects. And yet now, and to me that's very concerning, because it's a situation where I know there's going to be more of this coming, because I only have this liver, and they can't give me a new liver, and they can't do anything about it, and the tumors are growing. Hopefully not as fast as they would have. Hopefully right. So as part of what I'm doing, they totally paused, took off Yervoy. Right now they're not going to use that again, and totally paused my other Opdivo, the other immunotherapy drug, so that I don't start again until the 10th of January. So I'm going from the 15th of November to the 10th of January without any infusion. So they've stopped that. They've even increased this dose of steroids. And I will tell you, I started taking those steroids on Wednesday, so I'm on the 5th day at 80 milligrams of prednisone, and whew, does it have some side effects. So after I take it, I get this, my whole body's tingling and shaking, and I get really tense and anxious. I even had a panic attack a couple days ago, which I've only had maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, that prevented me from doing something. So, but today, wow. and I still have, I'm about to take my steroids, because the thing is, I came back from the hospital and I just have to have it with food. And I also have to take a prescription Prilosec to shut down acid because of how much it can hit and attack your stomach lining and esophagus. So that's another drug I have to take, but it seems to be working, because today I felt fairly normal and strong for the first time. I've begun exercising again. So I started out last Thursday and swam for 30 minutes, and then I went today, Monday, and swam for 40 minutes. Oh, I went the other day. I went on Saturday, and I did 40 minutes, and today I did 40 minutes, and I'm to get another blood test on Wednesday, so in 2 days, that will hopefully show reduced levels of the liver enzymes. And I'm not really, I was feeling tingling in the back of my legs even for a few days after that last attack, and that's gone. My sensitivity on my scalp has diminished. So some of these symptoms are being cut back. So that's where I stand right now. I don't have another infusion of Opdivo scheduled until the 10th of January, and hopefully I'll get this blood test done Wednesday. It's been ordered for, and on the 13th, then I'll get better news about my liver. But yeah, this is really sort of a setback, and yeah, I think a foretaste of what's to come from my liver, which doesn't make me yeah, but I'm okay. I'm calm. Sometimes when I was anxious in this delirium, I would get very angry and sort of get in a rabbit hole that didn't help with anxiety, I think. But I was able to calm myself down with breathing. Sugar helped after I took some sugar. Just I needed something. I knew I needed something, and I had a mint, and I felt a lot better for a short period of time. So that calmed me down from this agitation that is sparked by these heavy steroids. But they seem to be working. So I'll have more news when I get more news on the cancer front, and I'm hanging in there. Still love living